Hi, this is Rich Lavens of Eurotherm by Watlow, and had a question earlier today on how to load a custom curve into the unit. So our standard thermocouples and RTDs are kind of preloaded into most of our instruments, but we also have some custom curves we've developed that don't show up in the instrument, so you have to load them through iTools. So to confirm what we have, we can log in. So we have our page key, our scroll or enter key, and then the down and up arrows make parameter changes. So in my case, I'm going to hold down the page key until it goes to access. You can see we're in level 1. Then I'm going to go to config. It'll ask me for a password. By default, the password is 4. So now we're in the config level. If someone's changed your levels, your configuration codes, you would have to know what that is, or we could do an instrument reset or whatever. But in this case, we know what it is. So I'm going to hit the page key, and I'm going to go to my PV input. I'm going to hit enter. And you can see the second line is a thermocouple or a pyrometer or whatever. So we're going to be in thermocouple, and then the next line is the thermocouple type. So we're going to set this for a K, and that's how you set it. But if you were to go back in here and look through your thermocouples and you don't see the correct linearization, we do have some other stuff in here that we can load. So I'm going to log back out of this. Hold your page key again. We're going to go back to level 1. I'll let that reboot here real quick. And I've got a sensor break because my thermocouple disconnected. But anyway, I'm going to power this down. And I'm going to take our CPI clip and I'm going to plug it into the controller. And now we're going to go to iTools. Okay, so we need to open the iTools program. So we're going to open that. I'm sure you have different ways to get to it, but mine is here under iTools. And then specifically, once we open the iTools folder, I want to go to iTools Engineering Studio. And that's opened. And then I'm going to come up here. Now I'm connected via the CPI clip or config cable, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to scan for the instrument. And I'm going to scan via the CPI clip. So we're going to hit OK. Depending on the specific instrument you have, whether it's a 3504 or a Nanodac or an EPC 3000, this can take a few seconds up to maybe a minute. So anyway, it found mine pretty quick. So up here, it's found my instrument, and we can't do anything with this until it's done synchronizing. Now this, again, could take a few seconds. It could take up to maybe a minute or so, but we'll just have to be patient. So we'll sit here. All right. And you can see that I now, instead of a little circular, I've got a little instrument with the instrument name. And then just to show you where we're at here, so let's go into the graphical wiring. And the graphical wiring will pull up the function block configuration that this unit is set up with. I'm sure yours will look different and vary a bit, but what we're looking for is right here is our I/O process value. So if I double click on the gray header, you can see how it's set up. So I've got a thermocouple. The linearization type is square root. So if that's not right, and I hit my little arrow here, and I go to type K, it won't let me do it. The reason being is I have to be in engineering or access mode. So if I click here, there's my access mode. Now this turns to a yellow background with a black wrench, and you'll see that instead of blue font, like down here, I have black font. So in the Eurotherm world, blue font is read-only, black font is read-write, and depending on your access level, those colors can change. So in this case, We're going to set this for a type K. There we go. But if I didn't want something that was preloaded, I needed something else. Eurotherm has a pretty good library of different curves. They're not standard in the units because they're not as common, but we can load them. So to do this, we're going to go to load up here, click load. And then normally what it ends up doing is you're going to come over to your desktop. So here's how you find that. So what I really need to do is go to my computer, which is the C drive, go into my program files, find Eurotherm, which is right here, find iTools, and then go to linearizations. So within that linearizations folder, we have a bunch of different curves for exogen infrared sensors. We've got some various pyrometers, different RTDs, but in my case, I want to find a thermocouple called Platinel2. I'm going to click there. Don't panic if you don't see anything here. Down on the lower right-hand side, we have to tell it to look for all files or custom files. I'm just going to pick all because it shows everything. And here's all the variations of thermocouples we have created linearization blocks for. So in my case, I want to find Platinel2. Now notice it says TO28. That's what I want to load. So we're going to do that. We're going to open it. And it's going to say, okay, I've got 3 different areas I can create custom curves in. Which one should I store it under? So in my case, I want to store it in custom curve number 1. We're going to hit OK. I'm going to drag this over so you can see it. This is saying, do you really want to do this? I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But yeah, we're going to say yes. And then over here, it is now loading Platinel2 curves into my unit. It's done. So we're going to hit close. Now, if I come back up here to my linearization type, now if I scroll down, you'll see custom 2 and custom 3. TO28 is the one we just loaded. So it overwrote the cust 1, and now we put in the T28 file, which we know from just loading it is the Platinel2. So we now have a Platinel2 thermocouple loaded into this thing. It should work just fine and linearize that input properly. Don't forget to log out of the access mode. So we're going to do that. And again, just for those of you who don't know, when you're in access mode on the instrument, the controller outputs don't work. It's basically in a standby mode as a safety. So as you pop in and out of access mode from iTools, remember that you must log back out of access, or the controller is just going to sit there and not control a thing until you go back into run mode. So you can see we just changed that. We're no longer in access. Our thermocouple has been loaded. Most Eurotherm instruments kind of operate this way. So whether it's a 3204 or an EPC or a Nanodac, those custom curves should be in there and should load very similarly. I hope you find this helpful, but drop us an email or give us a call if we can answer any further questions. Thank you.